Hello and welcome back, everyone, to this last match before the break of the second day of the 12th Alliance tournament. This is CCB Fozzie, joined once again by Elise Randolph, although this will be our last match of this weekend with Elise Randolph. After this match, we'll be switching over to Sir Squeebles as our second commentator. This is Gorgon Empire versus the Nameless Alliance, and Gorgon Empire is a team that a lot of people had some pretty high hopes for, as they've got a lot of the old Darkside members, and Darkside has proven very effective in previous tournaments. Elise, you mentioned in the last match you thought there might not be a ton of drones.
Yeah, well, apparently I was horribly wrong. We got to see some Stratios, though, so this is pretty cool. With the Vexor, Navy Vexor, Gila Worm ban, obviously you can only have armor teams if you're going to do drones, and Stratios replacement for the Navy Vexor and Vexor, so they look super cool. We'll see how it pays off. Gorgon Empire came into the beacon at 30. They've got some Ishtars, they've got some Stratioses, they've got an Eos for links, and a Guardian for reps. Nameless have Eos, Stratios, Merlins, probably for damps, and just regular Onirios for reps.
The Gorgon Empire team is the one charging across the field. The Nameless Alliance is sitting back. Nameless Alliance is set up. I don't really think they've got a very good excuse for bringing an under-piloted team. They've only got, I think, the 8 pilots there, and we'll see how much that ends up hurting them, as their Guardian is already webbed and starting to take a ton of damage.
Ooh, this is definitely not good. That Guardian needs to live if this team has any hope to win, and it's sort of tanking right now.
Yeah,
and by tanking, I mean like
by tanking you mean not
ground.
tanking. Yeah. So one of the big differences we're seeing from these two teams is the drones drop. We've got Wardens dropped by the Nameless Alliance, while the Gorgon Empire has heavy drones, especially geckos. I think the gecko choice is much better in this situation because the Wardens track terribly. The drone choice for Nameless really makes me think that they assumed that the other team would stay at range, but they still haven't abandoned these Wardens.
Yeah, the Wardens really not the drones you wanted to use in this sort of matchup. They even came in pretty close together at the beacons. So, I mean, there's really, unless they thought they'd just run to the MJD and then go away, there's no real use for the Wardens there. As we see an Ishtar going down after the Guardians for the Nameless.
They're losing so many key ships before getting a single kill, and they've got all these Wardens shooting at a Vengeance. It's really not going to track it very well. They are piloting in a way that would at least take advantage of the Wardens. So they've decided to run right away from their drones and are forcing the Gorgon Empire guys to chase them and therefore keep the transversal down against these Wardens and make them a bit easier to hit. But it's not enough. These Wardens are still not able to take any significant chunks out of the Vengeances.
Yeah, it looks like Gorgon right now are just kind of on cruise control. They know they got the Guardian down first. They still have their Logi. Their Logi's never even been kind of looked at funny. Not like the Wardens would actually do any damage to this Onirios anyways. So yeah, it looks like Gorgon just going to walk away with this one. They might lose a Merlin. Maybe.
We'll see. Again, I would have to imagine that if they lose a Merlin, it would be because Nameless switches drones. At this point, what they should be doing is abandoning the Wardens and pulling out something that can hit smaller ships, as we see their first Stratios die.
Yeah, but in Gorgon Empire, they're tanking pretty well, and they even have rep drones to make sure that they can continue tanking really well. You see some medium armor bots swarming around for the Gorgon team.
Yep, and at this point, Gorgon are basically just taking down one type of ship after the other. They killed the Guardian, they killed an Ishtar, they killed a Stratios, and now they're deciding to just see how long it takes them to kill an Eos. And the answer is not very long.
Yeah, this year Eos is melting kind of hard, and there goes all of the links for the Nameless Alliance team, which, I mean, they weren't surviving very long with the links. They're going to be even worse without it.
So the use of these Stratios, we've seen a bit of them in the last New Eden Open, because that was the first time there was a tournament after they're introduced. This, I believe, is the first time we've seen them in this Alliance tournament. Besides being one of the sexiest ships in the game, I actually think they've got quite a bit of potential as a tournament ship. They fit into that same sort of slot as the Navy Vexors do, costing the 12 points, giving you some good drone damage that isn't vulnerable to E-War. And they lose some of the damage of a Navy Vexor, but what they gain is really strong tanking ability, lots of armor, and a big resist bonus to armor.
Yeah, they have one of the strongest bonuses that you can give a ship, which is the resist bonus. So you basically just get a free unstacked energized adaptive nano just by virtue of existing.
Yep, and all of the Sisters of Eve ships for armor tankers tend to have quite a few mid slots, which is something that may not be the best if you're purely trying to tank them, but in a tournament format is amazing because you can coordinate having E-War on all of these different ships in a tournament format. So ships like the Myrmidon, ships like the Eos that are armor tanking ships with a lot of mid slots can really use those mid slots to great advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. Like armor or mid slots are like the best thing you can have for a tournament. Mid slots are love, mid slots are life. And you can see just in the last ditch effort here, Nameless Alliance started shooting this Gorgon Onirios, almost killed it.
Yeah.
Maybe if they did that at the start, it would have been a little bit of a different outcome, but yeah, maybe this Onirios is just kind of playing around and goofing.
No, I definitely think after the mistake of the drone choice, it was definitely compounded by spending that whole time shooting at Vengeances with Wardens. Wardens are the lowest tracking of all sentry drones, and they're going to have a very hard time hitting a small armor tanked assault frigate like a Vengeance.
Yeah, they did ditch those drones eventually, though, to their credit, but they threw out hammerheads. Not really the best thing you want to do against an Onirios, but whatevs. They got some geckos and warriors as well.
Mm-hmm. So at this point, it's just the Tristan left. The Tristan is sitting very slow. He's just basically waiting for everyone to catch up to him, I guess. It looks like they're probably going to try to loot the field before they finish him off, see if there's any other good loot to get, any nice drones they can be picking up. And then they'll finish off the Tristan, and that'll be the end of the first half of the day. We'll take a short break. We'll get some food here at the studio, and then we'll be coming back with a new commentator, Sir Squeebles, joining me for the second half of the day, which has some really exciting matches, including Hydra Reloaded versus Triumvirate at the end of the day. And Elise, thank you for your commentating today. It was really great being here with you, and I know you're going to be back next weekend as well as back for the final 2 weekends live in Iceland.
Yes, this was wonderful. A good experience for me. Thanks for being so inviting as we watch the Gorgon Empire just pick the field clean and sort of milk their victory a little bit. But yeah, this is it for me for the day. Thanks again, guys. It was wonderful. Some really good matches coming up in the second half of the day, actually.
Yeah, there is going to be some very exciting matches. I mean, we've got Agony Empire versus Circle of Two as the first match coming into that. We're going to see Red versus Blue versus Code, the battle of two Empire heavyweights.
Everyone wants to see that one, especially some people who have been like hurt by Code before. They've kind of got a rooting interest in that one.
RVB is going to try to be their hero there. Fidelis Constance versus Nully Secunda. Nully is one of those teams that a lot of people are watching very closely because they have a lot of the core members of previous Hun Reloaded tournament teams with them. So we're all going to be interested to see how effectively that team has meshed with the existing Nully tournament team. And
maybe we'll see some broadswords. You never know.
It's very possible. You have the guys on Gorgon Empire apologizing local saying, sorry, we have no money for PvP, so they're finishing collecting the drones. And then, of course, CVA versus Red Alliance. CVA was another very exciting team last Alliance tournament. Outbreak versus Monkey with Guns. Hydra Reloaded versus Triumvirate, which is probably the biggest match of heavyweights in this weekend. That's going to be some really amazing matches.
Yeah, that's going to be good. And whoever loses the Hydra Tri match is going to just wreak havoc all over the losers bracket and really make teams wish they didn't end up in the losers bracket.
And so that Tristan is now dropping, and there you go. That's off the field. And that's Gorgon Empire taking a very convincing victory over Nameless Alliance, used Stratioses to great effect. And with that, we're going to send you to some ads and GTCam. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back at 1800 Eve time for Agony Empire versus Circle of Two.